Hello and welcome to this special meeting of Council to hear the 17th State of the Town address. We have regrets from Councillor Hazlitt Deal, who has taken ill, and we pray for a swift recovery for her. I don't believe it's possible to have a pecuniary interest in this item, but I must ask by statute, and Madam Clerk, there are no declarations of pecuniary interest. And so, with that, we begin. Today is Franco-Ontarian Day. Celebrating today at Town Hall, we had hundreds of students from our two French boards. We sang songs and we spoke of the strength of the French fact in Oakville. Celebrating tonight will be our Jewish friends and neighbors. They will break their fast for Yom Kippur. The Day of Atonement is a time for prayer, fasting, renewal, and growth. I wish clean slates for everyone in the new year. Also, today, I planned a Truth and Reconciliation Day flag raising. Today's events evoke the harmony that all parts of our community enjoy here in Oakville. Welcome to my 17th annual State of the Town address. Every fall, it's my custom to address council and the public about our town. We save each year's State of the Town address on the town's website. We're creating a record of our history together as a community. The future will decide with 2020 hindsight how well I record our time together. This State of the Town message focuses on our growth. Oakville has never stood still. It will be true to its heritage as we continue to grow for the better. There are urgent reasons to grow, and there always are. Never has the number of people nearing and in retirement been so high in Canada. The worker to retiree ratio was 7-to-1 50 years ago. Today, it's only 4-to-1. Without action, that ratio will be a bare 2-to-1 by 2035. In response, Canada's government has set historically high immigration targets. And I need my other page. Canada's growth will keep Oakville growing. And be calm, we have always grown. We've even grown faster in major parts of our history than we must plan for now. The growth rate was slow at first in 1827. The town's founder went bankrupt when the town didn't grow fast enough. By 1841, Oakville had only 550 people. In the next 30 years, the population more than tripled. That was 6% growth a year. In the next 50 years, the population only doubled. The rate of growth per year was 2%. It took 30 years after that to double again. The rate of growth went up to 4% a year. In the next 30 years, between 1951 and 1981, the population increased 11-fold. The rate of growth per year was 33%. That's when the Ford assembly plant came to Oakville. In the next 30 years, we more than doubled again. In fact, we doubled and a half. That took us to 183,000 in 2011. The rate of growth per year then was 5%. In the last 32 years, our population doubled. The rate of growth per year during that double was a bit more than 3%. And in the last 16 years, our rate of growth per year was only 2%. And that brought us to about 225,000 today. That's an estimate. There hasn't been a census, but we track our growth, and that's a good estimate. So we know, based on what the federal government has decided and what the provincial government has decided, that in the next 30 years or so, we will double again. That's our share of the new immigration numbers and our assigned portion of the housing needed. and our rate of growth per year will be between 3 and 4%. Now, by the end of the 1800s, we were known for our basket making for our local strawberries. After the 1950s, we became known as an automotive industry powerhouse because of our Ford assembly plant. By 2025, we will grow to be known as the home of the Oakville Electric Vehicle Complex. A $1.8 billion investment is making that happen. And yesterday, Unifor 707 ratified the new contract. I think we're all proud of our growing prosperity and harmony. We weren't so happy with how we grew in the 90s. We grew without keeping up with the necessary community infrastructure or features. There were not enough arenas, playing fields, rec centers, schools. Even the hospital was out of date. We had 800,000 square feet of community facilities when I became mayor 17 years ago. We now have 2 million square feet. On top of that, we have a state-of-the-art hospital. Council and staff and I are proud that we've caught up and are keeping up with growth. When you're growing, there's always work ahead. So we have a plan to continue to keep up with growth and increase our livability as we grow. Council, our dedicated town staff, and I rely on public input when we develop our bylaws, our policies, and our plans. This spring, more than 3,000 people participated in the survey, open houses, and engagement opportunities when we developed Council's strategic plan and 2023-26 strategic action plan. Our plan's priorities and objectives reflect what we heard from you, our residents. And as we work towards our vision, we will be guided to create a vibrant and livable community for all. Our new strategic plan guides us to achieve this goal. Council and I made a video to visualize our ambitions. I'd like you to take a look now.
Welcome to the next chapter of Oakville, where our town's future is intricately woven with passion, purpose, and a clear direction. The Town of Oakville Council's Strategic Plan and 2023-2026 Action Plan is a reflection of our collective aspirations, what we want for ourselves and our community.
Council's new 4-year plan will make Oakville more vibrant and livable for all. Our plan has 4 main themes. We know as we grow, we need housing variety and choice for all. We're creating a place where everyone is welcome. We see a future that has even more parks, trails, and trees than today. We promise clear and accountable local management of local services. You know, every day we create our future together. Let's work together to make it the best future we can.
We've got big plans for Oakville, but every step we take is thoughtfully designed after consulting the community, ensuring growth complements our unique character.
From supporting a mix of housing to plan a complete, safe, and vibrant communities.
We aim for a balance that protects our strong heritage, strengthens our local economy, and provides a great place to live, work, and thrive.
Oakville is a place where everyone is welcome.
We're deeply committed to inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility, and ways for every resident to feel they belong.
Through deeper engagement and collaboration with residents and community groups, we hope to build fulfilling community connection.
We understand the important role municipalities play in protecting the environment and are leading by example.
We are not just planning for next year, but for the generations to come.
Through initiatives like expanding our green corridors, enhancing natural areas, and doing our part to minimize the impacts of climate change.
Our vision sees an Oakville that is greener and more sustainable.
We are dedicated to serving the community in a responsible, inclusive way.
Every decision, every policy, and every initiative is taken with accountability at its core. ensuring what's best for Oakville's future.
This is our promise to you. Excellence in service, responsible financial planning, and transparent governance are not just our duties, but our ethos.
As we continue to create Oakville's future, please remember, we're in this together. This is our plan. It's Oakville's heart and soul, written, refined, and realized. Together, we're not just envisioning the future, we're making it.
I was especially pleased at the way this allowed me to have members of council help give the State of the Town address this year. I want you to be assured that we keep infrastructure plans for future growth ready and in the works. Streetscape studies for Bronte Road and Kerr Street are ahead of us this term. We want to revitalize those areas just as we did downtown Oakville. Park renewal projects are underway all across town. We're building pedestrian safety all over town. Residents can also look forward to major upgrades to the pool and lobby area at Iroquois Ridge Community Center. Construction continues at the 16-mile sports complex in Ward 7. Completion of the world-class cricket pitch is on track. That'll be this year. The Burl Oak Drive grade separation completion, or at the latest, early next year. The Burl Oak Drive grade separation completion date is mid-2026. And we're designing and organizing Midtown's infrastructure in time for its 2026 start. We are planning and designing the Downtown Cultural Hub renewal. The new library will open in 2028. The new Performing Arts Center should open about 2 years after that. The galleries may have a new home downtown then, too. Kerr Street's underpass remains a major priority for us, and the Ontario Land Tribunal will soon approve an official plan amendment for that area. When it does, that will make the case for Kerr Street's underpass so strong that I don't think Metrolinx will be able to keep postponing it. We plan to open the 16-mile community center and library in 2025. That's when my dream of a community center in every ward will come true. The new community center and library on Nayagawa will use geothermal heating and cooling technology. We aim to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. We set goals of a 20% reduction in overall energy consumption in town facilities by 2024. And we set a goal of 30% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by then, too. The town has integrated sustainable building design characteristics into our facility planning. We will see if residents will convert to EVs and heat pumps soon enough to reduce the community's overall greenhouse gas footprint. With interest-free loans of up to $40,000 available, there's no better time than now to retrofit a home. It's a good time to start planning to get an EV for your next vehicle. The transformation of our Ford plant into the Oakville Electric Vehicle Complex is underway. That will transform Oakville into a manufacturing hub for North American EV production. That will spur even more investment and job creation. And for the 5th year in a row, Oakville was named a best place to invest by Site Selection magazine. Not surprisingly, businesses are investing in Oakville, while existing ones continue to grow and expand. Our economic development strategy from the last term of council was a success. I invite residents and our business community to participate in the review and development of our next 5-year strategy. Now, we all know the future of transportation is electric. We partnered with Ontario and Canada to start electrification of our bus fleet. Our first batch of electric buses entered service this year. We're investing in a real-time bus tracking app for smartphones. Riders will have more confidence when making their travel plans. We want and need to make transit more attractive for everyone. In our 2023 budget, Council approved free transit fares for youth and seniors all day, every day. A few weeks into the program, I received an email from a resident who said, "Thank you for free public transit for seniors. Personally, you have enlarged my world and enriched my life." Last spring, Vivan, our co-op student from White Oaks High School, was the only transit user and Presto card holder among his friends. Within days of the launch of our free Transit for Youth program, half his school became Presto card holders. I now see bus stops and buses full of students. Ridership increased across all categories. Senior boardings increased 102%. Youth boardings increased 86%. Child boardings increased 41%. Adult boardings even increased 8%. By year end, an additional 510,000 boardings from youth and seniors will occur because of our free transit program. I'm also happy that Council has made permanent our ride-on-demand bus program above Dundas and in Southeast Oakville. Ride-on-demand is a more flexible and cost-effective way to offer transit service in low transit use areas. We want Oakville Transit to work for you. If it isn't working for you, please call or text me. My personal number is 905-330-1500. Please feel welcome to use my number for any issue, or you can email Service Oakville at serviceoakville@oakville.ca. When you want to discuss any aspect of local government, I like to hear from you. It's important to me to know what's on your mind. I've heard a lot lately about planning for growth. This is required. Provincial planning legislation and regulations guide our local growth planning. The legislature has changed the province's land use planning rules. The legislature requires municipalities to update their official land use plans that guide local land use planning decisions. The horizon forecast in provincial and local plans for growth is what scopes the scale of what we must build to be ready for the residents and jobs in our planning forecast horizon. The growth forecast thus drives our infrastructure master plans, the fire master plan, the transportation master plan, the parks, recreation, and library master plan, the culture master plan. And Council recently adopted a green infrastructure first policy. These plans and decisions all drive our long-range capital budget forecast. All of these will be open for comment as we review and update them, as we must, after we complete the review of our official plan by the end of the year. Our goal is always to grow more livable. We aim to benefit from growth. As we have grown, a long-desired request has been traffic light synchronization. This is a desire to always have a green light when you're traveling at the posted speed. A pilot is now coming to select major intersections that you use. The equipment and control room are set up. Operations begin soon. I just ask that you remember that sometimes we do have to stop so that major cross streets can still function. And more innovations are on the way. I'm working with Sheridan College to create partnerships to promote constant innovation in our town. Sheridan is a world-class college. There are synergies for us in working together. Our community and our council bring a diversity of strengths to our work together. We are a courteous and thoughtful bunch of individuals. The new council does its job very well of asking questions and testing policy proposals. And that's why I continue to say I cannot imagine ever needing to use strong mayor voting and veto powers. Strong mayor powers are now extended to the 50 largest of Ontario's 444 municipalities. It's clear the Ontario government is committed to this change to get more homes built faster. I wish it was as clear that the federal government would be as committed to fair political representation for Oakville as we need. Oakville needs 2 electoral ridings. The Electoral Boundaries Commission agreed with Council's unanimous resolution calling for fair representation for Oakville. Ottawa's delay in enacting the new ridings threatens fair representation in the next, for Oakville, in Ottawa and in Queen's Park in the next federal and provincial elections in 2026. Now, our representation in the ranks of municipal fiscal health is the best in the province. The Institute on Municipal Finance and Governance at the University of Toronto says so. And I have to say that keeping our overall tax increase at or below inflation is going to be challenging for the 2024 budget. We were far below inflation in our tax increase for this year. On average, over this year and next year, perhaps we can achieve the goal. But I think there's going to be some very tough decisions in front of us. Paying for some of the costs of growth is a budget cost I wish we didn't have to shoulder. We have to because in 1998, the legislature decreed that growth communities benefit from growth and ought to help pay the costs. And our bill has grown ever since. Even so, we still have a solid record of fiscal success and responsibility. There are better ways to finance growth than taxes on existing homes and fees on new ones. I'm hopeful the provincial government will work with us to move the burden of the costs of growth where it belongs. We must get these costs off property taxes and off growth fees to builders, because that winds up in the price of the new home. I am optimistic about taming the costs of growth. The new Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister has a new and welcome collaborative approach. On his first day, Minister Paul Calandra was on the phone to growth mayors, including me. He set a new tone by reaching out. I welcome the way the minister changed the review of two-tier governments. Gone are the private regional facilitators talking only to mayors. Now, we will have a legislative committee at Queen's Park operating in public. It's clear from this government's regional review in 2019 and this second regional government study that the province is not satisfied with the status quo and might prefer one municipal layer, not two. Did you know that only 40 of Ontario's 444 municipalities are lower-tier bodies under a top-layer regional council? I know Oakville is now bigger and at least as accomplished as most single-tier municipalities. Here's a fun fact. Only 5 single-tier cities are bigger than Oakville. I know Oakville will have a more efficient and effective future if we are a single-tier municipality. I encourage Oakville residents to think about the best way to deliver municipal services with local control and efficient synergies wherever they make sense, without a confusing and unnecessary upper-layer municipal council. The new minister is moving faster on this file and other files. We need to be ready. We should talk. And as long as Oakville remains linked with nearby municipalities in a two-tier structure, we risk a future amalgamation into a city of Halton. In 2019, we established that an overwhelming number of Oakville residents do not want to become just neighborhoods in some city of Halton. We like the way we are. What we are includes being a people who give back and give to each other. I see it all the time. This year, the United Way aims to raise $12.5 million to help the agencies who help those who can't help themselves. I hope you'll participate. The Halton Community Investment Fund provides $4 million for agencies that work in coordination with our Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. I'm proud of the success we've had from joining the fund in service of the plan. Our new Community Activation Grant program will support small neighborhood events or programs. These events will bring neighbors together and build stronger community ties. Now, as mayor, I often hear, why do we call ourselves a town and not a city? Please take it from the 1973 to 1985 mayor, Harry Barrett. We were about 70,000 people then. He taught me what he said. Oakville is a city that calls itself a town and acts like a village, Harry said. I prefer to say feels like a village. We feel like a village when we're at our best, meeting each other halfway with respect and mutual consideration. As we grow, we can always be a city that calls itself a town and feels like a village. We just have to remember, it's not how big we are, it's how big our smiles are. That's the way we treat each other to progress together. We can lead the municipal embrace of digital technology. We can be nimble enough to always adapt to change. We can run lean and efficiently. We can lead the country's municipalities in sustainability. We can do great as, I hope, an independent municipality that is a hub for jobs and talent, a place where we can take innovation for granted and benefit from it every day. We are and will be a destination for the world's best and brightest. They, like us, dream of a life of harmony, prosperity, and livability. We will keep attracting people who know we value their experience and will help set them up for success. Our town can look forward to new neighbors and friends who will give us a global advantage in the world economy. We will welcome more innovators and more volunteers for our community groups. I have always found that the warmest welcome in Oakville is for a willing pair of hands when there is community work to be done. Together, we all will make our town even more vibrant and livable. I know we can face any challenge, and I know we can make the best future possible together. We create our future every day. Let's keep moving forward. Thank you very much. Could I have a couple of volunteers, one to move and one to second receipt of the status report? Councilor Lischina and Councilor Chisholm, thank you. Is there any objection? There being none, Madam Clerk, that carries. And Council, we have one more matter of business, and that is the confirmatory bylaw. A mover and seconder, Councilor Knoll and Councilor McNeice, thank you. All in favor? Everyone's in favor, that carries. Thank you very much. That ends our meeting, and I look forward to continuing to talk with everybody who came. And I made some promises about giving a couple of gents some pins, so I'm going to do that first, and then I'll see you back downstairs. Thank you, everybody.